So thank you everybody for coming today. We are going to do a series on our spleen and our stomach. So let's start by coming to a seat. I'm sitting on a blanket and I highly recommend that you bundle it up and put it underneath your booty. Let's take a few breaths to roll our shoulders around one way and the other. Let's inhale and reach these arms up to the sky. Thread the fingers together and turn the palms up. Kind of reach it side to side. Inhale and reach it up. We'll exhale and take a gentle twist. Not to push or pull anything, just to tell the body that we're here today. Then inhale and reach these arms up again. Exhale and twist it out to the other side. A breath or a wiggle here, again, just to let the body know that we are here today. Inhaling, coming to the center, reaching these arms up. Exhaling and bringing the hands into the heart, the corners of the mouth up towards the ears. Infinite gratitude, Wankatanka Shiva, and Great Spirit, the one with 10,000 names and the one with no name. To all of our angels and spirit guides, to all the animal totems, thank you for guarding and guiding us today. The Divine Mother and Father, and their presence always. May this practice bring many blessings to everyone that's here today, all of the seen and the unseen, to ourselves, to our hearts. May we remember that there is nothing to heal and nothing to fix. Aho. Ashe, Shalom, Shalom, Shanti, 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 Satnam, Satnam, and Namaste. We have arrived where everything is perfect and whole and complete. And so it is. We will start with some breath work today. So you can bring your hands to your lap or your hand to your belly to really feel it. We're going to take a big inhale. And then we're just going to exhale and draw the belly button in, exhaling through the nose. Letting that go. Receiving the breath, taking a moment. And then some Bakustra, some bellows breath, inhaling and exhaling evenly through the nose and quickly. Kind of sounds like a dog panting. Letting it go. And I'm just sitting for a moment. Breathing. Tuning into your heart and where you're feeling right now. Another breath. And then gently, we are going to come into a wide-legged child's pose to start. So again, today we are doing a traditional yin series to stretch out the meridians of the liver or the spleen and the stomach. So I'm going to bring my toes together and my knees nice and wide, taking my booty behind me, sliding one arm out and the other one underneath. Now I want to rest my head, neck, and shoulders here. So if your head, neck, and shoulders don't quite come to the earth, feel free to fold a blanket, use a pillow, or something to hold that head up. I'm staying in that one side and breathing, and I'm going to be timing this. So you see me looking at the clock. That is what I am doing. Big inhales and exhales. Breathing up and down the spine, nice and long. Really letting those knees be as wide as you can and nice and relaxed. I personally really like to keep this arm over my head and stretch, just using this twist in the shoulder. But if you would like to, you could always wrap this other arm around, reaching for that opposite thigh behind you. Big deep breaths. Now, if you don't know what your spleen does, basically it's a really big filter for your blood. So I imagine, our bodies are kind of designed like the best machines ever. And everything that we experience in this world, in science, is doing its best to naturally replicate the natural world and our body. Breathe. Those long, deep breaths. We want to inhale through the nose always. We want to exhale through the nose or out the mouth is even okay. One more breath here. Exhaling everything out. You want to slide this hand in. Inhale to push yourself up. Extending the other arm long and switching sides. Breathing. You should really feel that twist in the shoulder or the stretch in the shoulder. The head totally relaxed, the jaw completely relaxed. So again, using any props that you need to get comfortable. The idea is that with these poses and these deep breaths, a little longer hold, that hopefully we're getting beyond the superficial muscle. We're able to help support the body in relaxation, turning that parasympathetic nervous system on. or the calm system. Breathing, sinking, melting in, completely surrendering. Completely surrendering. Surrendering the jaw, the shoulders, the belly, the inside of the legs and the hips. We have about 3 more of your best breaths here. Big inhales and exhales. And drawing in love with every breath. And letting go of any fear. Last one, best one. Exhaling everything out. Sliding this hand in underneath the shoulder. Inhaling and pushing yourself up. You might want to sort of wiggle around a little bit. Bringing these knees in, pushing up onto all fours. And then we're going to come to sitting. I'm going to grab my blocks so I can show you. We're coming into a full Varasana, or straddle pose, as we call it in Yin Yoga. Again, I am following Sarah Powers, a traditional Yin class. So here, half straddle, I'm going to bring one leg out and bend the other knee behind me. So if this feels difficult for you, please feel free to sit on a block, to roll a pad or something up underneath your bottom. That's not the case for me. So I'm going to release that. And I want this foot to be as flat as you can by your side. Then showing you with the blocks behind me, I can tuck my tail, slowly lower myself onto these blocks to support the body. Now you don't need them. If you don't need them, you don't need to put the blocks behind you. You can just lay all the way flat. And if you don't quite get there, feel free to keep yourself up on your forearms and or stay all the way up, maybe just on your hands. Now you want to tuck your tail, tucking your tail, scooping that pubic bone underneath you. You're going to feel the stretch in this thigh. Breathing wherever you are. Big breaths into the belly. Making sure that you're adjusted so that your body can relax. We are following the meridian lines. So I'd say about 85% of Western medicine or Eastern medicine, whether we're following marble points, acupressure, acupuncture, or these meridian lines, they all basically follow the same sequence or lines through our body. And the way that I imagine that is like a freeway system. And so these poses and these sequences of poses follow the direction of the freeway system to open the lines. And today, this is specifically about the spleen and the stomach. And remember, your stomach's probably higher than you think. We tend to think that it's sort of lower in the middle of our body. And really, it's kind of closer to our ribs. And if you're not feeling enough stretch on this side, which could also be possible, I'll move this over and show you that you can bend this opposite knee and you can actually draw it in. And that will stretch out those of you that have uber flexible quadriceps. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Big inhale. Big exhale. 1 more like that. Then we're going to take an inhale and an exhale. And that exhale, I want you to tuck your chin. Use your belly to help yourself up. Lean over to the side and release that leg. Lean over, bring the other one back. Find your most comfortable position here. Scoop the tail underneath you and slowly lower yourself back. We're holding this only for 3 minutes today. It's sort of a shorter series, a shorter again series. And you can hold these poses for up to 7 minutes. And the idea is that, again, we get past this superficial piece of muscle. And we actually start really getting into the connective tissues of the ligaments and the bones. Something I'd like to say is that I want this knee to be down on the ground. So if you're feeling like when you lay down or lay back, this knee comes up, right? Like say this knee is not supported on the earth, then I'd like you to come back up so that wherever you are, that knee is not just floating around in space, but rather supported by the earth. Keep breathing. I also like to often bring my arms up over my head, letting this whole front of the body open. And just relax those shoulders down. Soften the jaw, soften the shoulder. Expanding the belly and the ribs with every breath. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. And digest life with ease. I can process and filter anything that comes my way. I am open to moving forward into love and letting go of my fear or any false evidence appearing real. Few more breaths. And that last exhale, emptying everything out. Taking a big inhale together. And then use your exhalation to tuck your chin and help yourself up. Gently leaning over the side or releasing that leg. Moving around a little bit. And then we're going to come up onto all fours. We're going to come into a low lunge. So from all fours, I can just step 1 foot forward. If you need those blocks, get your blocks. Hand, foot, hand is how this goes. This knee stays right on top of my ankle. And then I slide the other leg back. So I'm lucky enough that I don't really need these blocks. And then we're going to breathe here, looking side to side, making sure that there is no tension in your head, neck, and shoulders, that the weight is coming forward in this leg, not on your knee. Softening the jaw. Long, deep breath. The shoulders are relaxed and down. Breathing into the front of this belly, abdomen here. One more breath. And then we're going to heel toe and walk this foot to the opposite wrist. I'm going to come down for pigeon. I'm sitting in between these hips. You might need to rock side to side. Walk these hands over to the opening so that again, you're on top of this thigh and in between the hips. And you really might need a block or a blanket underneath this booty. And if you do that, sometimes you also want a blanket underneath this leg as well. And sitting up really tall and then walking yourself forward into like a sleeping swan. Breathing here. Timing this. Big inhales and exhales. Feel free to use your blocks or an extra blanket here as well. That helps your torso relax. And sometimes you might notice that you're not quite ready to sink all the way. So give yourself permission to unpeel the layers, to use your breath to remind your body that you are totally okay here. That this is for your greater good. And to release the fear, to relax your head and really settle in. Softening the jaw, softening the face, softening your bottom. Yoga is the union of your mind with this body. It's about listening to your body and teaching it and reminding it that it's safe. That it's safe to stay relaxed and cool and calm. Breathe. We've got about 30 more seconds here. So big inhales and exhales. Big breath for 3. For 2. Big sigh out your mouth. And using your inhalation to help yourself up, just slide that leg back and wiggle it around. And when you're ready, bringing that right foot forward into your low lunge. Again, this knee is on top of the ankle. That is what is most important. That using your blocks is certainly nice to start, that you want all of your weight as best you can on the back of this left thigh. No tension in the head, neck, or shoulders. Lifting the heart. Lengthening all the way through your back toe. Breathing. Big belly breaths. You do not want the weight in your hands. You want the weight in your thigh behind you. Sinking in. Softening the jaw. Trusting this body. Breathing. I'm processing this life. These poses are stimulating the stomach meridian that flow down through the top of the thigh. Big belly breath. We're almost there. Think about breathing into your back. And breathing into the spine. How about 3 big breaths? Big inhale. And exhale. Always inhaling through the nose. Last one, best one. And then we are going to heel toe this foot over into that other wrist, coming down, sliding that back leg back so you're on top of that thigh. You might need to wiggle here or open this up a little bit again so that you're on top of this back thigh, and best we can to be sitting in between these hips, sitting up really tall to lengthen, and then exhaling and coming down. Here, there should be absolutely no pain in your knee. So again, frequently people need to prop their booty underneath with a blanket or a block to help you really sink in to this pose. And continuing to melt and listening in the waves of the breath. Riding the waves of this breath. Ride the waves of my breath. This pose helps stimulate our spleen in the groin of the front leg and along the inner thigh of the back leg. Sinking in. Breathing into how I digest and filter this life. Filtering and processing with ease. And process and digest this life with grace. Soften the jaw. Softening the back. Two more big breaths here. Big sigh out the mouth. And slowly inhaling, using those hands to help yourself up. And to slide that leg back. Wiggling around as needed. And then coming into child's pose, booty back, head down, and bring your arms by your sides.
And resting here. Again, if you need to put something underneath your head, I want you to imagine that you're breathing, inhaling into this lower back. So if you can imagine that your hands are there, or if you want to put your hands there, and then breathing into that soft space. And when you exhale, it should really create a little divot, and you'll feel that coming in. And taking a big inhale through the nose, and holding the breath here. And a big exhale. Again, a big inhale. And exhale. One more. And then gently releasing, bringing the hands underneath your shoulders. Inhaling and pushing yourself up. You will go ahead and come to sitting. Stretching these legs out nice and wide to the side. And coming to a forward fold. So you might again want your head resting on a block or even your forearms. Nice wide-legged stretch for those inner thighs. Again, stimulating that spleen meridian. And really, I feel so helpful to stretch out that lower back. Oftentimes people, or in my experience, I find that this will really help you open that lower back. So breathing here and relaxing here. Slowing down. Big belly breath. Yoga is getting to know myself. I'm getting to know my body, how I process and digest this life in my physical body and the energetics of my mind. I give myself this opportunity to open, to soften, to surrender what is. To experience the moment. And to breathe. And just really breathe here. Three more. Have your best breath. Big exhale at the mouth. Deep sigh of relief. Do that again. Big breath inhale. Big exhale. Last one, best one. Big breath inhale. Big exhale. And slowly inhaling, rolling yourself up. Let's bend one knee and bring one foot in. And I want you to twist towards that knee. Sitting up tall, relaxing the shoulders. This sitting bone is going to want to lift up. I invite you to press it back down. Breathing here. And then reaching the opposite arm up and stretching it over. And I'm going to keep this twist as best I can. You can soften your head. You could look down. You could look out in front of you, finding where that feels good. Another big breath here. And gently release those arms. Bring your chin to your chest and forward. Inhale and roll up. And we'll bring that extended leg in and switch sides. Sitting up tall and twisting towards that bent knee. And pressing that opposite sitting bone down. With the twists and the turns of my life. I get softer and softening the edges. Inhaling, reaching that other arm up and stretching it over. Breathe. Big inhales and exhales. Really lengthening and creating lots of space in a nice long kinetic line. Softening the jaw. Softening the head and the neck. For 3. For 2. One more big inhale. Big exhale. Bringing that down in front of you. And releasing the arms. Inhaling, rolling it up. And then go ahead and gently roll yourself onto your back. And coming into our Shavasana. Again, I highly recommend that you put something underneath your knees. And just coming to laying. Big inhales and exhales. You might have some wiggles to get out, tucking those shoulders underneath you, back of the neck. Nice and long. Softening the jaw. Breathing. Imagine the whole body melting. Imagining the muscles just melting off the bone. Sinking into the earth.
And breathe. And then letting that breath go. Remembering that in Shavasana, we don't even want to think about breathing. We don't want to think or not think. We want to be human being, because that's what we are. We are human beings. Beginning to take a long, deep drink of breath. Big inhale into every cell of your body. And a big exhale. And start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, feeling fresh and alive. Like liquid gold to soothe your soul. And when you're ready to draw your knees into your chest, to tell this body, thank you so very much. Thanks for incarnating into being a human right now. Such a wonderful time to be alive. Reaching that arm up and gently rolling yourself up, remembering that your head is always last thing to come up when you roll up. Then we will come to sitting. Taking a few big breaths here. Softening your jaw and falling in love with yourself today. And remembering that you were born of stardust, that you're crafted from the sun, and that the universe is mirrored in your tongue. That when we speak, we build nations to come. Weaving darkness into light, we've been sharpening our tools. Doubt is a dull knife, and fear is a useless maze. So breathe. Remember that you were born of stardust and crafted by the sun. And thank you to the spleen and to the stomach today for processing our life and for helping us that we don't even have to think about it. They just do their job without ever asking for anything in return. Thank you, thank you, thank you to this body. May we all digest all of our lives with ease and with grace. And so it is, and it is so. And so it is, and it is so. Inhaling and reaching these arms up over our head, scooping up all this great energy, bringing it into our hearts, and bringing the corners of our mouths up towards our ears, remembering that all is well in the world, that everything is just the way that it's supposed to be. That's the only way. And so from my heart to yours, may you feel blessed. May you have blessings avalanche upon you today. And so it is, and it is so. And so it is, and it is so. And so it is, and it is so. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Taking good care of yourself.